Hello and welcome to Threefold Herbal Healing. I'm herbalist Leo Sade. I help people who struggle with chronic conditions grow their health from the roots up. Today I wanted to speak about dandelion, but before I speak about dandelion, let me remind you that this video is recorded for educational purposes only. It is not meant to evaluate, diagnose, heal, or treat any specific conditions. So let's talk dandelion. And whenever I talk about dandelion, I like to start with a story. Dandelion is a very common herb, and everybody almost met dandelion on their front yard, on their lawn. It's one of the first herbs that pop up in the spring, and many lawn owners feel like it's disturbed this beautiful green unified lawn that they have, and what they do is spray it with herbicides, and then after they spray their grass and it's back in orderly shape, they send their pets or their kids to play in the backyard, not realizing that the backyard is now full of toxins and that the one herb that can actually help detoxify the body out of toxins, they just kill it. It's really an upside down and a lot of ignorance going around. So let's talk about dandelion and how it does what it does. Dandelion is a simple bitter, which means that everything that it does through the bitter taste. Simple bitters don't contain alkaloids or volatile oils. They are just simply bitter, and our perception of the bitter taste in the body is the drive of their function. When you taste something bitter, your body thinks that you are ingesting something that is toxic for you, and it upgrades all the functions that meant to eliminate toxicity. What does it mean? Better digestion, better breakdown, better absorption, better detox, and better elimination. So dandelion mainly work on the digestive system. And every other functions that dandelion have in the body is secondary to what it does in the digestion system. So let's start really with digestion. We have bitter receptors in the body like we have for all flavors, but we have the number of bitter receptors is much higher than the number of any other flavor receptors, exactly because bitter receptors are meant to detect toxicity. When you ingest something bitter, the first thing that you will notice is increase in saliva in your mouth. And that kind of response happens all through the digestive system, which means that you will have increase in stomach acids, increase in pancreatic enzymes, amylase to break down carbohydrate, lipase to break down lipids, fats, and protease to break down proteins. So you have better nutrient breaking down and absorption, also increase from the pancreas of insulin. And we will talk about insulin in a moment. Following digestion and absorption, the food is carried to the liver. In the liver, the bitter taste stimulate bile production. Bile have two major uh, functions in the body. One is to emulsify fats and help with fat digestion, and the other is to create the stool, to form the stool and increase peristalsis, which is increasing bowel movement. So it's good for preventing constipation and promoting elimination of stool and waste products. Bile production is increased, but along with that, the other liver function of detox phase 1 and phase 2 are also stimulated and promoted. So what we see is that simple bitters and dandelion specifically act to improve tone and promote all digestive functions. It is a safe herb that you can use over a long period of time to build what we call digestive fire, or to increase the function and tone, structural and functional of the digestive system. With that, it has, because of everything else that it is doing, it has an effect on lipid health and metabolism in the body. It reduces cholesterol and it reduces triglyceride in the blood. And it increases HDL, what some people call the good cholesterol in the blood, which means that those fat lipids in the blood have less chance to oxidize and create inflammation. So by doing that, it's kind of protect the arteries, the blood vessels, and the entire cardiovascular disease. Also, like I said, it increases insulin production by the pancreas, and it also increases the cell's sensitivity to insulin. So cells are more receptive to insulin and they take more glucose into the cell. That leads to less glucose in the blood. When you have less glucose in the blood, there is less chance of glucose sticking to proteins and to fats in the blood, creating this sticky plaque that stick to the walls of the arteries and lead to arteriosclerosis. So the arteries lose their flexibility, their ability to dilate and contract, which lead to high blood pressure, inflammation, and heart disease. So Dandelion, by improving liver detox, lipid metabolism, and glucose metabolism, protect the cardiovascular system. So it's overall a very good herb to have for increasing digestion, promoting lipid metabolism, and promoting glucose metabolism and overall metabolic health. I love dandelion. I use it for, I would say, 90, even more percent of my client, because in some ways, most of the clients that come to my clinic, on the back of their condition, you will see problem with digestion and malabsorption and like weak digestive fire. So I use it a lot. That was dandelion. If you feel like you have any digestive condition or any other chronic condition and you would like to check the possibility of working together, I invite you to book 20 minutes a free herbal consultation with me. You can find me at www.threefoldherbalhealing.com/consult. Again, it's www.threefoldherbalhealing.com, 20 minutes herbal consultation. Thank you for listening to all this video. If you're still with me, I hope you found it beneficial. You can use the dandelion in your yard if you don't spray it and your pet don't pee on it. Or you can find a place that you think is clean, that it's not sprayed and pets don't pee on it, and you can use the root, the leaves, and the flowers. Enjoy your dandelion and have a swell day. Bye.